Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Capital Inc. To survive and stay competitive, shipping companies in the current economic climate must find innovative ways of working and by embracing modern technologies. Shipping, traditionally a little bit relatively slow to adapt new technologies, must be aware and explore the opportunities. Driven by the constraints of the pandemic and the need for optimum performance, recent years have led the dramatic development of data analytics and digitalization, reshaping the business landscape and supercharging the vessel performance. Greek technology firms are here to accelerate the digital transformation of Greek shipping. I'm honored to moderate today the panel of CEOs. We have representatives from Greek high technology firms, namely Mr. Roberto Coustas, founder and CEO of DeepSea Technologies. We have Kostas Stampedakis, who is the president, and I should say founder of ERMA first, and also METIS, and Antonis Malaxianakis, founder and CEO of HarborLab. At the same time, we have the users of their products, established traditional shipping companies in the area of tankers, Olympic Shipping, President and CEO Mr. George Karageorgiou, and in the area of bulk carriers, we have Mr. Stamatis Tsantanis, CEO of Seanergy Holdings. Greek high technology firms are available, ready, and qualified to navigate the largest national fleet of the world profitably towards better modes of decarbonization and digitalization. Now, let me ask, I will ask Kostas first. You have been in this technology trip for a long time. You have founded and led a very successful company, ERMA first, who broke the barriers and has a lot of clients all over the world. Would you say, and please justify it, that Greece can be considered as a maritime technology hub?
Thank you, John. Thank you all. Thank you for having me, Nicholas. Thank you so much for this nice event, as always. First of all, allow me to thank the previous panel, ladies and gents from the previous panel. You have been an inspiration for the Greek entrepreneurs as we are on providing solutions to the shipping community and mainly to the Greek shipping community. That was the previous panel. It was, at least for me, a great inspiration. Thank you so much for that. So, John, I think that this panel is a great example that Greece can be a successful hub for technology providers. We are a panel of 3 young entrepreneurs, I would say, who are promoting new technologies via services or products which are tackling today's maritime challenges. But apart from us, we are many more. We know that there is the Hellenic Export Equipment Manufacturers Association, so-called HEMEXPO, which counts more than 20 full members and another 15 associate or affiliate members. all of them, they're providing products such as heat exchangers, sensors, electronic and electrical equipment, ropes, metal seats, all of them focusing to the maritime environment, which is a great proof that Greece, apart from a major ship owning and ship management nation, we have actually all the I would say the infrastructure to become a leader on the maritime technology equipment providers. Apart from Hemexpo though, there is a vibrant Greek ecosystem with a lot of startups, mainly focusing again on the technologies which will serve the maritime industry within the next years. Thank you.
Mr. Martinos, in the previous panel, gave you a preview of Greek high technology. I would like to become a little bit more defined by asking the three representatives of high-tech firms to indicate and prove that there are many different areas that they excel. My question is directed to all three of them, namely to Antonis, Roberto, and Coustas, without order. What is that you are offering to shipping, and what distinguishes you from your competitors? Let's start with Antonis, HarborLab.
Hello, good morning to everyone. So what we provide is efficiency, transparency, connectivity, and cost reduction. This is what we do. Efficiency, just to give you some metrics, the users of HarborLab can actually check one person, 40 vessels, while in the manual process, when they utilize the common process, which is paper consumption, is one person per 6 vessels. Transparency, we can create KPIs regarding all the metrics of disbursements, everything that is related to the disbursement ecosystem, which is what we actually disrupt. KPIs about savings and time efficiency. Connectivity, which is something that I really feel it is very important for nowadays. As an operator myself, I used to connect when I was working in shipping companies in various different products. I simply did not have the time. So what we have actually done is that we create APIs where we connect our software with voyage management systems and ERP systems. So we eliminate the manual work. And cost reduction, well, this is our bread and butter. This is what we do. We have two different type of models. The one is the software as a service, and the other one is an outsourcing model. We save roughly $1,500 per port call when a vessel operates in the spot market, and half of that when a vessel operates in time charter. Regarding our competitors, well, we are lucky enough and we are enjoying of being the only company around the world providing a software only for disbursements. But on the outsourcing model of the business, we have, let's say, two competitors that, thankfully enough for us, they drive the same inefficient process, and they do everything manually themselves and need to hire one person per 6 vessels, while we employ one person per 40 vessels. How do we do that? Well, and this is the great part about our company, is that we have a dedicated team of port analysts, people with mathematical background that speak directly with the port authorities. They receive the official port tariffs and everything that is related to disbursements, and they create algorithms of how each port expense is being calculated in every port, terminal, and berth around the world. So when the agents submit their pro forma and final day, the algorithm go and match with what the agents submit in our platform, and we highlight to the shipping companies what they should pay, what they shouldn't, and actually what is not supported by an official tariff and should be actually considered as part of the agency remuneration. So we are a transparency company highlighting to them what they should pay and what not.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Roberto, I know that you're using very sophisticated mathematical models, but please try to simplify to tell us what your company is doing.
Of course. First of all, thank you very much for the invitation as well, Nicolas. Excellent panel, the previous one as well, this one, and the whole lineup today. So, I mean, of course, I'd say that our technology is the best, as anyone would, but I wouldn't want to advertise too much what we do, but actually focus on what all technology companies focus on doing and what I think they're successful of. So what I think makes us different is actually the selection of our clients. And that is because we like working with people who know what they want to achieve. And if you know what you want to achieve, then you can find ways of measuring that and what the impact towards that goal is of your technology. For instance, if let's say the CII is the challenge that now we're coming to face, then we can measure how our products can improve the CII of a specific vessel. If the goal is to reduce bunker costs, then again we can measure what the impact of our technology is against that benchmark. So that's what I think makes us different. I'm very happy to say that also knowing Antonis from HarborLab and METIS as well and other companies around the world are sort of emulating the same process. But our advantage here is that we're in Greece and many of the previous panelists have been our clients or have helped us develop our products. Same in this panel as well, and we're very grateful towards that. And I think it's one of the competitive advantages that we sort of have versus everyone else in the world, and which is why I personally believe that, and I'm very optimistic about Greek shipping and Greek shipping tech, because as very successfully I read an article by Stamatis Tsantanis that Greece and Athens specifically is the Silicon Valley of Europe and the Silicon Valley of shipping, and I think that's a very well put statement.
We do hope that we are going to become Silicon Valley, and maybe we are already, but like Coustas said, we can be Greek maritime community can be considered a high technology hub. I would like to continue with Coustas, talk us about, I believe, METIS.
Okay. I think I'm the last person who can talk about this, METIS and all these sophisticated algorithms. Roberto next to me, I think he's more expert than myself. So I will talk about ERMA First Group. We started as a ballast water treatment maker, and we tried hard with your support, and we became one of the 3 leaders in ballast water treatment worldwide. And that gave us the opportunity to convert ourselves from a group, from a company with a single product to a group with various products. So nowadays, ERMA First Group counts 4 business units or 4 different companies. First of all, of course, it's ERMA First with the ballast water treatment system. But apart from that, we launched last year a shore connection called ironing. We call it Blue Connect. We have developed chlorination systems for potable water on board vessels, which support the reduction of plastic bottles usage. And also we're working on the development of a carbon capture and storage unit, as well as on some energy efficiency devices. Apart from ERMA First, we have One Tank. One Tank is a company that we have acquired last year. It's a US-based company and is dealing with ballast water again, but it has the smallest ballast water treatment system in the market, targeting small vessels like yachts, tugboats, fishing boats, and after-peak tanks for the large crude carriers. And then we have METIS, on which Yanis, unfortunately, I'm not a founder, I'm not as clever as those guys are, but we're a strategic investor in METIS, which is dealing with data collection, real-time monitoring performance, and via artificial intelligence and machine learning. And last but not least, we have our RWO. It's our German-based company. It is based in Bremen and is specializing on MARPOL equipment such as oil water separators, sewage treatment plants, and freshwater generators. What makes us better than our competitors? I think I will try to put it in three simple terms. First of all, consistency. We're very consistent in what we're doing. Second is after-sales support. We are investing a lot on after-sales support. We have hubs around the globe, and we know that without that, there isn't any marine equipment manufacturer. And last but not least, whatever we design based on our customer needs and based on the simplicity in operation. Thank you.
Thank you. One of the major, allow me to say that one of the major products of these technology companies is the so-called voyage planning, which makes the vessel travel having favorable currents pushing it from the stern. Since the fuel consumption is proportional to the cube of the primed speed, you can imagine what amazing reduction we can get, at least for the time that the current acts on the vessel. So it's something that we're going to see in the future used and applied, and not relying on the gut feeling of the captain. Now let me go to the users of this high technology, which is the shipping companies. Let me ask George first, heading and leading a traditional company of tankers. Does the Greek technology, do the Greek technology firms satisfy your needs? Do they satisfy your wish list to ease the management of your fleet? Anything that is missing from your wish list?
There's always something missing. But anyway, thank you very much. It's a pleasure and an honor for me to be a part of this panel and address the audience today on the issues of the Greek technology cluster. The mere fact that our company is one of what everybody calls a traditional shipping company does business with all three gentlemen that are on my right, I think is a huge testament to what is happening into the Greek technology cluster. As the Greek fleet increased in size, and we've now reached 5,500 ships, which are owned by Greek ship owners, the need for the technology increased a lot. And that, I think, gave birth to a great number of Greek companies that evolved over the last 20 or 30 years. And recently, we are witnessing a new wave of what we call digital companies emerging that are here to help us even more. Olympic has been, I think, in the forefront of technology ever since 1969, when we were the first company globally to install an IBM mainframe, which was half the size of this room in our office in Monte Carlo. We're also one of the companies that have worked a lot over the last 30 years with our ERP providers. And in order to give you a sense of the involvement, we have customized our ERP 437 times in 29 years. So you can understand how important it is for us always to be at the forefront of technology and digitalization, basically. Lately, in the last 6 years, we have installed a system which is managed by one of these gentlemen that sits in this panel that collects 2 million data points per day per ship on board our ships. We need a huge database in order to manage it, and we need very clever people to decipher the data and provide us with good, actionable information. So yes, we are receiving a lot of value. The increased presence of these companies is helping us a lot. It's a great advantage that we are able to pick up the phone and talk to the CEOs of these people and invite them in our office, or we go to their office and discuss our main issues on a daily basis, provide very quick feedback to what they produce, and I think this is invaluable. So yes, we are receiving value. I think we will be receiving a lot more in the future as our industry moves from being less analog into more digital. So, the need for these technologies and these companies will increase even more. And I think we are very, very happy to have them with us. One thing that I would like to reiterate, and it was discussed previously at the previous panel by Mr. Martinos, is that Greeks were always at the forefront of innovation, and we still are. In the past, we did it because, it used to be called efficiency or cost minimization and profit maximization. Digitalization today provides exactly the same things, and it's helping us do what we did in the past in an analog way. Today, we did it a little bit better using the digital forum.
Thank you very much, George. Let's go to Seanergy. Stamatis, different cargoes, but probably the same needs. What do you say?
Well, I agree with George 100%. I think that technology today is mandatory, and the implementation of all the technological services that are being provided to us is basically an imminent need. So for me, embracing technologies, it's not a matter of option. It's not a luxury choice. It's an immediate need, and it's like going outside of your house without having your mobile anymore. So that is how important technology is for us today. And I'm very happy that most of the people attending this panel today, and some of the previous panels, and some other people that are not here today, we helped co-develop their systems ever since 2015-16, that we were among the first Greek shipping companies to install most of the systems on board our ship. So for me, it's a great pleasure to be on this panel, and the Greek companies that are represented here today, in my opinion, are among the best in the world, if not the best in the world, in providing solutions for the shipping universe, wherever that universe is, if it's in Europe or in Americas or in Asia. So for me, I'm very proud to be on a panel with such young and dynamic entrepreneurs that have, in my opinion, created a big, big difference in the shipping universe.
Thank you very much. The next question is to Antonis and Roberto. What percentage of your clientele is of Greek origin? It's a statistical question.
Well, the company launched the first product on March 10th in 2020, 2 days before COVID came to Greece. So for the next 2 years, we focused on the Greek market. Currently, 80% of our customers...
Well, you couldn't travel either.
Yeah, I know. So 80% of our current customers are Greeks, but now that we have managed to travel, we see that percentage dropping a bit and implementing our products to other companies as well, foreign companies.
Well, I'd say that Antonis is very humble, because any time I get on the phone with him in the past 3 months, he's always on a plane. So he is probably, most of his clients, I suppose, are foreign. So I'd like to add something. So first of all, John, regarding your view on routing and how voyage planning can save fuel and how intuitively, you feel about it. First of all, it's very inspiring to see someone just grasp it instantly, what the value proposition is. Now, in terms of our clients, I'd say that the first ones were Greek, and many of us helped us develop our systems as Stamatis. This is one of the companies that helped us develop our systems, and that's very, very important, because I was also asked previously before this panel, is Greece a technology hub, and what needs to happen for it to be, let's say, a more developed technology hub? And I think that what's needed is what many people like Yannis and Martinos, for instance, do, is create, let's say, a program where they can test or pilot their technology on board their ships so they can develop them. That's, I think, very, very important. And what's very interesting is that our clients were 100% in Greece in 2019, 2020. We started back in 2017. But now I'd say around 30 to 40% of our clients are actually Greek. Some of them are from Japan, Norway, Singapore, and that's very interesting.
So we have a global representation, evidently. I apologize for insisting on this Greek picture, but we have a saying in the place I come from, in Crete: if you don't say good things about your house, it is going to fall on you. So let me go back to Stamatis and to the shipping companies and ask, would implementation of all these high technologies change the modus operandi of the fleet?
Well, that's an excellent question. I cannot really give an answer about traditional shipping companies because Seanergy is a very young and dynamic, and we have more of a startup approach. That's why we feel closer to the technology companies. To give you an idea, I'm like the oldest person in Seanergy, so we have a very young and dynamic team. So for us, it was not, as I mentioned before, a matter of choice. We decided to implement it ever since the beginning. Everybody embraced that internally. So the actual change inside Seanergy was pretty much very natural. It was a direct continuation of our previous business without all these technology facilities that we have implemented. So I don't think we can live without it, and I don't think that we ever had any internal resistance in implementing any of that change. I understand that other companies feel a little bit difficult in adapting in a changing world. This is not only in shipping, this happens globally in all different areas. But as I mentioned before, having in mind what kind of new technologies, new regulations are now coming in the next few years, in my opinion, implementing new technology is not a matter of choice, it's not a luxury choice, it's a matter of urgent need. So, whether we like it or not, we like it. Everybody has to embrace it.
Thank you. George, digital technologies bridge the gap between the people on board the vessels and the people ashore. How this centralized know-how will benefit the fleet?
Very interesting question. Greek shipping has always been relying on its people. People were the most important aspect of this success. That has arisen because of our long history, our tradition, and the way that the Greek ship owner manages his ships. The Greeks know their ships better than anyone else, and this is due entirely to their people. With the new technologies, the importance of the seafarer, I think, will decrease. He will not become obsolete, not for sure, but definitely his importance will be decreased because machines will be collecting the data and will be helping the people to take better decisions, not based on intuition and what we call naftosini, but more importantly on data that they collect every day from the sensors. Now, one thing that we should make clear is that digitalization can help all the companies improve their performance. But the level of improvement is always relative to your starting point. If you have very good people managing your ships today, do not expect that digitalization will give you a quantum leap into the future. No, you might be able to improve, single-digit. You might be able to see a single-digit improvement in your performance. If you have bad people managing your vessels, then digitalization will help you a lot, and you will be able to reap great benefits. As I said earlier, for Greece, I think it will probably diminish the competitive advantage that we were enjoying by employing Greek seafarers first on the ships and then in the offices ashore. If we embrace the new technology, and I believe that every Greek shipping company will do so, I think we will be the first to enjoy the benefits that digitalization will bring us. And we will also need to train our people in order to be able to read the signals better and adapt to a new world which will be governed more by data rather than intuition.
Thank you very much. Very good point. Coustas, you have globalized your operations, but do you find sufficient manpower locally, or you have to go explore other places as well?
Wow, the last few years or many years that I'm doing what I'm doing, I was hearing the ship owners raising a concern about the lack of seafarers, especially the Greek seafarers, who, as George said, they have naftosini, and I was feeling really, really sorry for them because I thought that there are sufficient engineers and scientists who can support us. I have been proved wrong. Inevitably, in Greece, we have a lot of universities and polytechnic schools which are educating our people. And nowadays, I dare to say that we have a high-quality graduates with a strong academic background, which is a good start. However, we're missing people with experience. And this creates a lot of headaches to all of us. I think that the lack of shipbuilding or ship repair activities the last many years in Greece have led us to where we are now, that we have a lot of young graduates who have a strong academic background, but they're missing experience. So this is the reality, and we have to live with that reality. Also, during the crisis years, we learned this new term, at least it was very new to us, the brain drain. We've seen a lot of young people or experienced or semi-experienced people leaving Greece, heading either to the Far East, where the shipbuilding activity is, or to Northern Europe or United States, where high technology companies are. Thanks God, we've seen the last 2 years change on that, with an exemption of the last 3 or 4 months. We've seen the Greek government trying to bring people back, and we actually surfed that wave, us as well as a group, and we're trying to do the brain gain. Only the last year, we have managed to bring back from various countries like United States, Korea, Netherlands, UK. We've brought back 16 young engineers and scientists, experienced now because they've worked for the last 4 or 5 years in those countries. And it seems that the situation is changing, and I hope that the trend will carry on to be the same.
Thank you, Kostas. Question for Stamatis and George. Let's start with Stamatis first. How easy it is to break the barriers and apply these new technologies?
Well, as I mentioned before, for us it was very easy because we started by installing all these devices in the very early stage. So ever since back in 2015-16, we're among the first to invest. And having in mind that the dry bulk industry went through one of the worst crises of all times, to have the right mind to invest in a new idea, for us it really was a big gamble because, you know, spending money for this kind of things that back in the day were not so proven, it required a big bet. And we took this bet because, you know, in our minds it was super obvious. So it was not really a matter of, you know, debating whether this is positive or not. And as I mentioned before, it's like the cell phone. I mean, you really do not get out of your house without having a cell phone these days. So this is how strong I believe technology is helping shipping. At the same time, it's a very conservative business. So, you know, applying new technologies on a very conservative business is definitely a challenge. But in our case, it was pretty much, you know, this is on a take it or leave it basis, both on the staff and on the ships. But nobody ever resisted. It was just, you know, embracing it ever since the beginning.
Glad to hear that. What about Olympic shipping, George?
Well, for us, I think innovation was always embedded in our DNA back from the days of Mr. Onassis. We always, you know, built our ships to the latest possible technical specifications, and we were always there, engaging new technology and you know, driving all our suppliers, the engine manufacturers, the shipyards, to the greatest possible extent. We did it in the past in order to achieve efficiency and cost minimization. Today, we need to add the third pillar that has to do with emission reductions and your ability to trade, you know, maximize perhaps the utilization of your fleet when the new environmental regulations kick in next year. So, you know, I don't think that you should be confusing, you know, innovation and evolution with traditional values. There are two different things, and without evolution and innovation, I don't think that you can compete in a global environment. So for us, it's embedded in our DNA.
Thank you very much. In the interest of time, I would like to close with Roberto and Antonis. In a few words, Roberto first, where do you see your firm 10 years from now?
Thank you very much, John. That's an excellent question. So what we aim to achieve is to be the partner of shipping companies all around the world towards decarbonization and improving the operational excellence of their companies. That's where we see ourselves. And because before the panel, Mr. Tavlidis approached me and told me, these panels are nice because actually you get to learn something as well. If there's one thing that I'd like everyone to take away, I mean, from my presence, at least, from this panel, is that if you want to improve your CII, you have to look at voyage optimization. If you want to reduce your cost, if you pay for fuel, voyage optimization. It's the lowest hanging fruit, and we've seen from companies all around the world consistent savings. So yeah, that's my.
Thank you. Antonis?
Well, in our 2 years of history, let's say, we have already managed to become the market leaders here in Greece. So we expect in the next 4 years to dominate the world and become the market leaders around the world. Eventually, we are building various systems. Actually, HarborLab has already created an ecosystem of softwares and not just one. All of them are related to ports and disbursements, currently disrupting mainly the disbursement ecosystem. However, currently we are moving on to the port optimization and the service and optimizing the services of the port in-house. So this is our dream and the next step.
Thank you very much. Greek shipping has seen the rise of high technology firms providing ready-made solutions, upscaling it, and with complete integration of smart, innovative technology. It is tipping between science fiction and reality. We will take reality. Thank you very much.